Hey everyone. So what you may remember is a couple of weeks ago when I said that I was going to do some testing with the AWS connector to the Azure cost management interface, as described in this article that you see here. Well, I actually did that, but before I show you the results, let me just spend a few minutes talking about the data flow from AWS to Azure. So the Azure Cost Management AWS Connector widget requires you to do a few things, such as creating a display name for your connector. The connector itself is tied to a management group, and of course there is a subscription dependency there. One of the key things to keep in mind is that on the AWS side, you have to create a new role, and that role will be attached to a policy which gives you access, or rather will give the widget on the Azure side access to AWS billing data via a unique report you will create. And the details, or rather the contents of that report, is dumped into an S3 bucket, which is then queried by the Azure connector, or rather the Azure AWS connector widget, and displayed via the Azure Cost Analysis display. The external ID is what enables the AWS connector to, of course, access the role via its resource name. So again, here's how that's described, and you see the URL for how to do that on the screen here. And then this shows exactly what we should be able to do once that's been configured. And I have, in fact, successfully configured that. So let's take a look. One of the first things you will notice is that is the scope here, which is that I've created the name for my particular connector as MLab AMS IM. And I'm also already getting data. It took about, I'd say, 24 hours or so to get the data from my AWS account. But it is successfully pulling the data, and all of the details that you see here are actually coming from the report that has been dumped into the S3 bucket, which is being queried by the AWS connector. It's actually fairly neat the way this is being done, because it's simply added as a scope option. So for example, I can change out to elements within my Azure subscription here by just changing my scope, which is pretty cool. I don't know how robust this is, and by robust, I'm not sure exactly how stable it is. I did create one of these a little while ago, and it seemed to fall apart, but so far so good with this one. But anyway, as you can see, it is possible to successfully configure this widget and get data from a particular AWS account and see your AWS and your Azure spend data in the same place. Any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thanks and take care.